Hey, so to answer the questions for this week, I've formed relationships with people most of the time because I found them to be easygoing for the most part. Usually, that person is able to laugh very easily and understand that I like to play a lot when I talk. Anyone that can poke fun and take poking fun at from me and others is someone that I admire because they have the self confidence or thick skin enough to understand that the fun is meant, usually as a joke. Another reason I form a relationship with someone is because they share some of the same ideas or moralities or even concerns I do about what's going on in the world around us. This, according to the book, would probably be put down under similarity in thinking and understanding. Another top reason that I will attempt to form a relationship with someone is if I get a recommendation from someone that I know and trust. I have had family, friends, and loved ones come up to me and say that I and another person would get along very well. I usually take the recommendation more seriously depending on how well I know the person that is recommending the other person to me. Usually, I don't form relationships with people that are closed off or too serious. This is not to say that serious conversations can't be had, but people that are constantly serious and unwilling to step back and to find the laugh or understand where I'm coming from are not people that make me feel comfortable or want to keep up a steady relationship. I also think that people that don't equally put in work into a relationship that I'm forming or that I care about um, equals roughly whether my relationship with them stagnates or even terminates. The last reason I might not form a relationship with a person is if they don't open up every now and then. I like people that, to the degree of how far our relationship is, to be willing to open up to me as well as hear me when I choose to open up to them. I think the social exchange theory, to answer the second part of the question, has a huge influence on whether a relationship stays put or not. People want to feel like they are getting back what they are putting in, at least. I often say to my wife that if her friends are pulling her down more than they are pulling her up, that she should consider dropping the relationship. I feel like we just don't have enough time in our lives to waste on people that aren't willing to give back and care if we show care and willingness first. To answer the second question, I feel like a simple rule in my family is to always respect our elders. I feel like this is both an implicit and an explicit expectation that we have as a family. At family gatherings, when communicating with those senior to us, we're expected to respect and listen to them like we would any other family member because they have usually given us a lot, or have given to others and have earned that respect. I feel like this rule is fairly common and followed in many households. When this rule is violated in my house, usually the person that has done that type of disrespect is pulled to the side at a separate time unless the offense is fairly egregious. Usually the person pulled aside is asked if they are doing all right, why they feel the way they do, and if no good reason is given, they are warned not to do what they were doing or not to give the disrespect. I think my family currently stands at a pluralistic style of communication. Usually they're willing to hear each other out and then go back and forth on ideas until we reach a consensus. Usually, if others are not around to weigh in on their opinions or on what's being discussed, the subject is brought up to other family members when matters are a little bit more serious. I think the communication pattern in my family has changed from being more protective in earlier years. I think the change was due in part to the children of my family growing up and being able to make decisions as adults later on. Although there weren't many rules as a child growing up in my family, the ones that were made were steadfast and not to be questioned.